Hello, and welcome to my new channel. Uh, this one is going to be quite different, and I'd rather talk about that if you guys care about that at the end of the video, because I kind of want to just get into the topic of discussion. So, as you know from the title, this is about mental illness and gender, and why I didn't do mental illness versus gender, the difference between mental illness and gender, because this one is just it ties in, and I'll tell you why. But first, let me just tell you these three things. I identify as a black homosexual male, and sometimes I wear makeup and I identify as a black homosexual male. Sometimes I wear women's clothes and I identify as a black homosexual male. And that will never change. That does not change. And if that changes for you, good for you. If it doesn't, then good for you too. It's none of my business. And in your perspective of me, it's also none of my business, nor is yours of mine. And second, it's healthy to judge. It's healthy to be a little judgmental. That's how you get being a little bit judgy can kind of save your life, can get you out of bad situations. Being able to judge a room, knowing what to talk about, what not to talk about. If you're in the middle of a room and you see that people are already getting loud and irate, and this is at them being happy, I think talking about something controversial would be, a little bit charging, a little bit triggering for some people, because they're already loud and irate, and now you're bringing it to political bullshit that everybody doesn't want to talk about. Okay, so you judge the room and you pick your battles. I don't know, because I feel like it's not. We'll get into the intelligence later, but being able to judge a room is a good thing, okay? Being able to judge people is a good thing. Now, if you're being an asshole and judging them, that's on you. But that has nothing to do with me. You can judge the shit out of me if you want to. I don't give a fuck. I shouldn't give a fuck. Let's put it that way. Now, and then sex. We're talking about gender and mental illness. We are not talking about sex and mental illness. Those are two different fucking topics. There's only two sex. That's it. Male, female. You can transition from male to female, or you can transition from female to male, but you are changing your biology. They will always be male, female. So when they ask you what were you born as, you were born a male or a female. Gender, you can literally be any fucking gender. You can be a goddamn tree gender. You can be whatever the fuck you want to be. That's none of my business, nor should it be anyone else's. And I'll get into that too. But let me give us a little synopsis about fucking mental health and mental illness. Now, to diagnose something, there's a spectrum. It seems to be going to be probably the vocab of the year of the last fucking 10 years. A spectrum, okay? There's a spectrum of normal, not normal, unhealthy, and abnormal. There's a huge difference between all four of them, but they're on the same line. Yes, you can be, but once it didn't, let me calm it down. Now see, you can be abnormal and have normal-like symptoms. You can be like, that's more for specific. Like, for instance, if you're depressed, it's normal to feel despair. It's normal to feel like you're not good enough. That's normal. But it's because of your abnormality. It's normal amongst the people who are depressed. So, but it is basically judged off of society. Now, the big stigma about that whole thing is just that once you've been labeled, people judge you about who you are and what's going on. Oh my goodness, you should watch out for the knives and the drugs because he's going to kill himself, or some bullshit like that. And that is completely unfair and uncalled for. You don't understand what they've been through, what they're going through, and it's really none of your business. All you can do is just be there to support them. And it's just like, but because of the fear of being abnormal, because there are disorders in that, going back to mental health, because just because you're not normal doesn't mean you're unhealthy. Just because it's unhealthy does not mean it's abnormal. Now, let me give you an example. Anorexia. Anorexia is the intent, you're purposely, deliberately making yourself 85% of your body weight. Okay? Now, so as this is not like because you're depressed and you're not eating. This isn't because you got the flu and you're not eating, you have no appetite or you're throwing up. This is you are deliberately making your weight at an extremely low and unhealthy amount, which would be less than 85%. Meaning, as in, if your lowest weight is 100 and you're 85 pounds, deliberately, you are anorexic. Now, if you are 120, let's say your lowest is still 100, and you are 125 pounds, and you purposely did not eat, had a very restricting diet, throwing up, let's exclude the throwing up part, but you are purposely not eating anything, and you lost 100 pounds, you lost 25 pounds, and now you're 100, you're not anorexic. That does not include you as anorexic because you're not 85% of your lowest body weight. You're literally spot on, okay? It's unhealthy, not normal, but it's not abnormal. It's not a disorder. There's a difference. Now, that is like how that goes on a spectrum. So, but people are so trigger happy with putting somebody in a box, in a label. This country is, we're just so quick to put somebody in a freaking box that anything that's